Hi everyone, my name is Chantel and welcome back to another video. I have this frame that I bought some time ago and I figured I could turn it into a shadow box with a diorama inside. Before we move on, please know that all materials used can be found in the description box down below, and if you're new here, welcome! Please don't forget you can click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. So let's create the shadow box first. I started by disassembling the frame. The glass was not attached to the frame, and the front and the back came off very easily. I will use the back as my guideline for the walls of the shadow box. I measured out the sides of the frame and attached black foam board that I cut to size. I am not attaching the top yet, you will see why a little later in the video. Once the 3 walls are on, I try the frame on and it turns out I have to cut the corners in an angle, so that's what I'm doing here. Once that was done, the frame fitted on quite nicely. Then onto the roof part. I haven't done a fully enclosed diorama yet, so this is just me trying things out, but it turned out pretty cool in the end. I wanted to make a slanted roof with a window in it. I measured out the right size for the roof and cut out the shape of the window. Then I attached some scrapbook paper, which looks like wallpaper, with little flowers on them, and cut around the edges of the foam board and the window to get rid of the excess. I then scored vertical lines 1 inch apart to suggest that it's wallpaper. To age it and make it stand out a little bit more, I used watercolor paint to darken the edges and the scored lines. For the window, I sanded a piece of acetate so it's not quite as see-through, and made the fake glass look old with acrylic paint before attaching it to the wall. At first I wanted to paint the windowsill, but then I found out that the popsicle sticks I have are the exact width of the foam board and it looks more finished, so I went with that. I measured and cut out all the pieces for the window and painted them with watered down brown acrylic paint before sticking them on. I cut 2 triangles out of the patterned paper for the side walls and created the same wallpaper look as the slanted wall. I wanted the room to have a sophisticated but old appearance, so I made the wall paneling out of cardboard. I measured the wall underneath the wallpaper and cut the boards to size. I then cut out rectangles and placed them evenly spaced apart on the cardboard. then painted the wall panels with white acrylic paint and aged them with brown watercolor paint. Next up is the floor. You probably already know how I do this if you have seen my other miniature room videos before. I cut popsicle sticks into smaller pieces and glue them on the foam board. I paint them with watered down acrylic paint. It's a long process, but it's very effective and I love how it looks. When the floor is done, it's time to finally put in that slanted roof and work on the details that will fill up the room. If you hadn't guessed it yet, this diorama will be a forgotten attic. And the first thing that comes to my mind for what you can find in an attic is books. All the books in the room have real pages, and here's me creating them. I fold a strip of paper into a zigzag and put a clip on one side. I then glue the sides together with PVA glue. I created the cover of the books from a manila folder and painted the covers of the books with watercolor paints. Of course, I also had to put some cardboard boxes in the attic. I created these out of kraft paper cardstock. The measurements of the boxes I created are 1 inch and the box flaps at the top and bottom are 1/2 inch. If you are making these, don't forget a glue flap on one of the square sides. I then scored the lines to create clean folds and folded the boxes. The next part was interesting. I wanted to include an old piano in the attic and also wanted to be somewhat close to a scaled down piece. I started to make the piano into a 1/14 scale. This was way too large, so the first part of the piano you see me create is the large version. Then I decided to create the 1/16 scale version, and that was way better for this diorama. It actually fits in perfectly. It's mostly made out of foam board, wooden dowels and cardboard for the details of the piano and the piano keys. I created the same paneling effect as I did with the wall paneling and layered pieces of cardboard. I painted the piano brown acrylic, created shading with watered down black acrylic and aged it by sponging on some cream colored acrylic paint. The keys I cut out of cardboard, stuck them on, painted them white, and with watered down brown acrylic aged them up. Then finally I added the black keys to finish it off. I wanted to give the illusion that there are lights on the outside of the window, like the vintage gas lights. So behind the slanted roof, I placed 2 battery-operated tea lights and gave them a simple brace to sit in, made out of 2 pieces of foam board. I created a piece of foam board that slides into the top, which is removable. So let's see how it all comes together. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!